When someone dies, their spirit leaves their body. What happens to this spirit? Many wonder if there's life after death, or if heaven and hell are real. Buddhists consider reincarnation. These questions are common, but answers aren't always clear. Blindly accepting one view is hard. This video, with a Zen story and some science, explores what happens when the spirit departs the body. It's a fascinating journey, promising to shed light on our questions. Stick around till the end to find the answers you've sought. Before we dive in, if you're not already part of our community, subscribe and enable notifications for updates on new content. In the heart of Japan's mountains, there's an old Buddhist temple where monk Kunaki teaches. In the temple's dim light, lit only by faint oil lanterns, and with incense scenting the air, Kunaki discusses intriguing and mysterious topics with his disciples. After meditating, Kunaki opens his eyes, looking intensely at his disciples. In a calm yet meaningful voice, he asks, "What happens to the spirit when someone passes away?" His question fills the temple's silence, stirring mystery and curiosity among the disciples. They all ponder, what occurs after the final breath, when the soul departs the body it inhabited? Kunaki persists. Is there a spiritual realm beyond death's veil? His gaze seems to pierce beyond the physical world. The disciples exchange looks, brimming with unanswered queries, eager for the truth behind death's curtain. The monk knew his words would deeply affect his disciples. He embarked on a tale that would ignite their curiosity and lead them toward enlightenment and spiritual growth. "My dear disciples," he began, "today, I aim to address the questions you've long pondered and those I've anticipated. I'll share insights from a Western psychologist and psychotherapist who delved into the mysteries of the soul through regressive hypnosis. His name is Michael Newton. Through his work, he explored the human unconscious, seeking traces of past lives and the afterlife. Newton asserts the soul's existence as a tangible reality with a structured journey after leaving the body. His studies reveal that departed souls are greeted and guided by light beings, ensuring they're not alone on their passage to the afterlife. It's as though they're gently guided by hand. With a gentle smile, the aged monk prepared to unveil the secrets. As Kunaki spoke, many among the listeners felt moved and relieved. The notion that their loved ones weren't alone in their most vulnerable moments brought them comfort. Once souls reach the spiritual realm, Kunaki continued, they arrive at what subjects describe as a port, where they're gathered before being guided to their respective groups. Newton's analysis suggests that souls are grouped based on their consciousness level or affinity. There are also companion souls, akin spirits with shared goals, who journey together. Before rejoining their group, each soul must face the council of elders, comprising ancient and evolved souls. Here, they review their earthly actions in a profound process of introspection and acceptance, planning for their next incarnation. Regarding reincarnation, Kunaki elucidated, every soul, having assimilated earthly experiences, embarks on a new evolutionary journey through successive lives. It's an eternal cycle of spiritual learning and growth, guided by the intuition and love of our spiritual guides. In the solemn and mystical silence of the monastery, the disciples listened respectfully as the monk recounted Dr. Newton's profound exploration of the human soul in search of truth. Moved by the tale, one disciple, tears brimming, turned to Master Kunaki, asking, "Could you elaborate on the different levels of the soul? How do we distinguish and classify them?" "My dear children," replied the monk solemnly, Dr. Newton identified 3 distinct stages of soul development during his research, a theory I am inclined to believe in. Firstly, there are the beginner souls, those who have undergone multiple reincarnations but remain immature in their spiritual journey. They struggle to fulfill their soul's purpose, lacking the resonance needed to transcend time and space. Understand, dear ones, that the majority of souls on earth fall into this category. They are still bound by earthly structures, often dominated by selfishness and self-centeredness, needing time to break free. As the disciples contemplated his words, the wise monk continued, delving into intermediate souls. These souls, he explained, are in a transitional phase, gradually evolving and becoming more aware of their responsibilities and spiritual path. They incarnate less frequently than beginners, forging a closer relationship with their spiritual guides and confront life's trials with the goal of one day becoming guides themselves. Looking upon his increasingly engaged disciples, Kunaki introduced the third level, the evolved souls. My dear ones, he began, these souls represent the pinnacle of the spiritual journey discussed by Dr. Newton. Free from earthly burdens, they focus on individual growth and sharing spiritual wisdom. While incarnate, they maintain introspection, guided by patience and resilience. They may not always be prominent figures, but work quietly, prioritizing personal improvement and preparing to lead spiritually. When souls depart the body, Kunaki continued, they may cling to earthly experiences, making it challenging to move forward. Yet, the reincarnation journey must be completed. Souls face crucial decisions, aided by spiritual guides who illuminate their path. They envision various incarnations, akin to a cinema where choices are explored. Before reincarnation, souls undergo the council of elders, where they grasp their spiritual tasks in the next life. In Dr. Newton's words, Kunaki reflected, we find the wisdom of ancient spiritual traditions. They teach that every soul, regardless of its stage, can grow and transform. We each illuminate our path, guided by inner light and universal love. With each cycle of reincarnation, we find endless opportunities for spiritual fulfillment.